to the smart city solutions. Norden is actually a UK headquartered company. We are mainly into the ELV sectors where we had deals with a product called CCTV cameras, cables, and that associate accessories for that. We have presence in the Middle East, America, Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa also. In timelines, Norden is almost a 28-year-old company, and in India we have almost 15 years of the operations. In terms of the presence, we have presence across 40 countries where we have for 28 countries having a direct presence and 12 countries we have a presence through the partner and distribution network. In terms of product range, we have ELV range of product which will cater the cabling sector where we have entire range of cables starting from your data cables to fiber cables, communication cables, instrumentation cables. Plus we have recently added into the intelligent cable solution also. Apart from that cables, we have that solutions for the CCTV surveillance system. There also we have categorized into the general surveillance solution as a specialized solution specific to the industry and the requirements. Plus we have that public addressal system which is again used for that smart city applications. Apart from that, we have access control system as well as UPS. Currently in India, we are focusing on the three category of the product, which is cables, CCTV products, and public addressal system. When we talk about the smart city, there are multiple challenges we are facing. So challenges we have categorized in terms of the challenges faced by the city administration. They have to be continuous monitoring the infrastructure maintenance. They have to do a crime and vandalization management. They have to do a traffic violation management. They have to do a parking management. And they have to do a law enforcement management kind of thing also. In terms of the public communication, they have to do a lot of, because a lot of things are happening and people are using a social media. So there is no proper communication from the authority sides. What is in case of disaster or in case of situation where that something is instruction given by the authority is not communicated properly. So we have that communication challenges is also there. Plus we have already done a lot of projects, a lot of infrastructures has built, but there is a huge challenge of that networking infrastructure management. Systems are failure, networks are down, but we are not getting a proper maintenance kind of thing. We don't have proper alert mechanism because we are giving very less amount of focus into the infrastructure things. We have done a lot of cabling thing, but we have not make the cables or infrastructure is a managed kind of thing. So that is again could be a challenge. So considering that three challenges, we have designed some kind of solutions as a Norden. For crime and vandalization, generally people are used, a lot of cameras are there, that bullet camera, dome camera kind of things. But we generally is putting a specialized because areas are larger. There should be a gray area. Once you have used that bullet camera or dome camera, there should be a kind of some black spot should be there. So we suggest you can use the 360-degree panoramic view camera, which will give you a physical recognition also and give you a number plate kind of recognition also, which you can catch the offender who does the violation. That is one part which will help you in terms of crime and vandalization kind of scenario. Traffic management, again, there is a huge range now of cameras are available with inbuilt AI, which will help you into the monitor the violations in terms of speeding, illegal turns, or maybe that red light violation kind of thing. So all this coming now, the new products are coming with the AI-based solutions, which will help you in terms of reducing your compute also at the data center level. Plus, it will give you a kind of analytics also. In terms of, again, the public safety, there is a huge cameras are available, variety of cameras are available. Based on the requirement, we can deploy that camera and cover the maximum area, which will prevent the people, citizens, in terms of making cities safe. If something is happened, they can catch hold the who has done that particular act on that part. Again, we have that products which will help you in case of emergency will happen. If some disaster will happen in some specific places, we have a camera which will have an inbuilt, pinhole camera which will be connected into your that inbuilt with come with your emergency call or SOS box system where you can press the button, it will immediately trigger the live view of that particular location to the command control center. Plus we have that vehicle mount cameras also which will be put it into the rapid response system kind of vehicle where you can monitor a live situation, what is happening, and you can make a quicker decision making in terms of any thing happen. Then we have infrastructures management cables which will be monitor you 24/7 with some inbuilt analysis, and you can do a lot of activity which will in terms of waste management also. You can give that proper checkpoint should be created, connected with the IoT devices, and that will help you to make do the requirement as per the environmental regulations. Morning sir said that there are a lot of parking issues are there, so we have the solution for the parking management also, which will integrate it with the third-party application to give you the right kind of what is the slots are available in the parking, which basement is available, how that automatically that fees can be detected from the image of the camera. Plus, we have that body worn camera also, which will be very useful for the law enforcement agency for making the online documentation and interaction happening with the users. That will be used further as a further case of that evidence also. And that all is having a real-time analysis that will project that entire what is happening in the remote location will be projected to the command control center also, with having an inbuilt 4G slot SIMs available that can be connected to that thing. So what is unique in the Norden? Norden actually having the wide range of products in terms of that to meet the end-to-end requirement of your smart city applications, whether it is a camera, whether it is an infrastructure cabling, or whether we have that public address system. All our products, cameras are cybersecurity certified by the certain approved lab. We have that NDAA compliance, which is mandatory nowadays to work in the Indian market. Plus, we have all the products are more or less integrated with third-party application in different scenarios. So we have smart, you can say, ready to integrate with all the available products in that particular domain. Plus, we have a proven track record, and all the products what we are supplying is kind of a certified with the work on the rugged kind of environment, outdoor applications. So we have that standards and certificate followed with that things. In terms of the cabling solution, we have that infrastructure, like typical scenario of that smart city application where that cables is a more important component, and we are just using cable as a passive devices. But with the help of our intelligent cabling solution, we can monitor entire infrastructure with the help of software. We can do asset management, and we can visualize that entire your rack system on the software platform, where you can have do the configuration also if you want to do any particular port configuration. So that kind of flexibility and that kind of manageability we are giving in terms of the cabling systems. We have the command control setup kind of, we have a MTP, MTO kind of solution where you can deploy multiple fibers in a data center environment. These are some components of that data center solution products. We have intelligent PDU also. There you can monitor what kind of loads are there in the racks. That all you can be customized, is all manageable devices. These are the components of these things. Then we have that I told you that software is there. You can do a lot of asset management, inventory management. You can do a 3D mapping of your infrastructure assets deployed across the platform. And you can have that cross paneling and that interconnect also with that help of that software. And public address systems, we have that emergency call response system, which will comes with an inbuilt camera. Once you press the button, it will trigger that alarm to that command control center, and that will be communication, two-way communication should be established, secure communication should be established. We have that integrated SOS smart poles also there, which will comes with that, you can deploy the camera also, you can deploy the SOS also, and that all could be connected to the central location, command control center. These are the product range we have into that PA solution. We have that speakers which we'll use for the outdoor applications. We have that intercom terminals. We have that IP-based rating videocom paging stations also, which have that both the options with the video facility options also. Plus we have that associate software also for that thing. So that's all from my side. So that all what we can offer in terms of that product perspective, which is mainly required to make the city more smarter, and it will give you a first level of feed what is happening in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Parikshit. You were right on time. Appreciate that. Our next speaker is Ravi Kumar CK, Business Development from Videonetics. You heard Videonetics in the previous conversation. Now you're going to hear the details behind their solution. They are the early adopters of doing it here in India. So welcome.
distinguished guests, respected exhibitors, and my dear industry colleagues. Today I'll be presenting our offerings in Safe City and primarily in Smart City segment. So why are we talking about a smart city or a safe city? I mean, I'm just trying to set the context here before I get in depth. Primarily, if you see, right now you have about 40 to 50% of the population in urban areas, and this is projected to grow close to about 70% by the year 2050. And the growth in the smart city segment is about 13%, 13.13%. That's a compounded annual growth rate. And in several research reports, it is established that right now you have about 250 smart cities. I think it varies from 250 to 600, because I think majority of the data is more skewed towards US and European segment. If you consider the smart cities in Russia, China, and in India alone, we have now almost about 80 to 100 smart cities live. So what do we offer for this segment? Primarily what we offer is our video management software. In simple terms, if I have to say, is your recording, monitoring, archival and live viewing application, and your video analytics, which is AI DL enabled, and your traffic management system, facial recognition, and your video surveillance as a service model. Majority of our investment right now is on the vSaaS platform. Primarily it's a cloud native application, which is microservices based, which is immediately possible for a rapid scalability. Just if I have to present the journey, Videonetics, we started in the year 2008, initially catering to all the applications of video analytics. So if we see the primary customers of Videonetics is probably in US, UK or Middle East. But first opportunity we got is in the airports. Now airports, initial requirement was people-based monitoring, object-based monitoring, and sort of your video recording software. So I think in the year 2010, we won about 3 airports, and right now we are managing about 80 airports in India, and some of the largest being Chennai and in Kolkata. And the police modernization, under police modernization, you have this requirement of your city surveillance, traffic planning, traffic management. We started serving these customers starting from about 2011 onwards. So we have almost about hundreds of cities, almost close to about 149 cities to be specific in India, where we are offering our solutions and where the police, law enforcement, and traffic has been utilizing our applications. And in about smart cities, close to whatever we have, about 54 smart cities in India are using our applications. And currently, if you see, mostly we have been serving all the large industries because they have been moving from DVR, NVR to preventive sort of applications. It could be your industrial customers, that is in ONGC, NTPC, and the Maharatna or the Navratna companies who have been adopting this technology. So the company's core strength is in its R&D. We have patents granted in US, UK, Canada, Singapore, obviously India, and one of the most country to get your patents, that is in Israel. We have more than about 150 patents in this technology. I mean, I'll not spend too much of time on the awards and the rewards or accolades. This is broadly where the presence or deployment of our solutions has been. So when the video comes from a camera, if you enable the basic engine, it gives you the broad category of what type of objects it is, whether it's a person, human, or animal. If I enable a detailed category, it gives you in terms of vehicle, what type of vehicle, whether it's a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, LMV, HMV. Obviously, it requires, I enable the layer based on the compute that is available. So once you do this, the only thing that is required is you need to enable smart, intelligent rules. If it's a group of people, you give a crowd alert. If it's a group of vehicles, you give a congestion alert. Now, the major problem that the authorities face, basis our interaction, is when they have thousands or lakhs of hours of video coming in your storage. How do you search? You can actually see in most of the control rooms, police is sitting, downloading the video samples, trying to search, when the incident has happened. There is a better way that these things can be done. How do you filter down and quickly search? So if you want to select a person, it's a male, and what kind of appearance, that is what kind of shirt he is wearing and whether he is wearing a backpack. And if you want to search from all these hours of video, these are some of the features that we enable. This is basis the demand of the customers, what we have been observing, so that you immediately go to the exact incidents. The same thing you can do it for vehicles as well. You select basis, let's say if there is a hit and run, if there is a rash driving, and when you have lakhs of hours of video, how do you quickly search? You select a vehicle, you select the color of the vehicle, and then you directly go to searching the cameras. So because of the limitation of time, I'll not go in depth. So there are various use cases that we can do. How you do the behavioral detection, that is whether it's a person collapsing or person assault or people fighting. We have many use cases that we have deployed in prisons. One of the prestigious is in Singapore prisons. So there is another use cases that we have been getting, that how do you manage the crowd? And let's say if there is a specific number of people that have to go to a bridge to prevent all the stampede, then how do you control? It detects, it counts the number of heads and gives you the count. So under traffic, we have been the first company to come up with the no helmet detection in 2018, and then triple riding, then you have your no seat belt, and we have driver on call. The next challenge is how do we improve the accuracy? So this is a pure Indian company where we have come up with a Arabic license plate detection, your Thai, that is for Thailand, for Thai license plate, for Bangla license plate. So being an Indian company, we have been serving the customers throughout the Asia Pacific market as well. So under video, we are the first one to detect or to identify the speed beyond 200 kilometers. The application has been tested for this. And how the other challenges or the new challenges that we have been facing is you have a single camera catering to a single lane, how we can broaden using a single camera covering multiple lanes, how you improve the accuracy. This is where the upcoming or the majority of our focus has been going. So under smart city, if you see the the KRA, or what you call is the key focus area for a smart city, is how do you manage the waste? How do you pick up the waste? How do you ensure that the city streets are remained clean? So we have been serving the smart city customers in this space as well. I think this is some of the deployment where you detect the behavior of the individual, and then you identify if there is any abnormal behavior, and then you take action. So like this, you can see in the authorities coming in, and then you prevent the incident before it gets into any sort of an escalation. So these are some of the broad offerings, and this is how we have been helping the cities to remain safe, secure, and finally contributing to make it happier. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Our next speaker is Amanpreet Singh, is the Senior Manager for the Smart City Business Unit from NEC Corporation. You can proceed with your speech, sir.
Yep. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present our solutions on this big platform. So today we would be covering our offerings in smart cities and smart mobility and transportations, which we have deployed across in India, and some of the solutions which we have covered in Middle East as well. So starting with the first, a quick fact about NEC Corporation. So NEC is a Fortune 500 global company with more than around 125 years of experience. We started our operations from Japan, Tokyo in 1899, and currently we have expanded our operations in across 50 plus countries, and we have an employee strength of around 1 lakh plus and currently a patent of around 45,000. And we have been ranked #1 in biometric solutions where our chief expertise lies and which has been recognized by various rating agencies as well. And if we talk about the revenue which we generated in last year, it was around 23 billion US dollar in 2024. Yep. And if we talk about our presence in India, we are present in India for across 5 decades now, and we have our offices in Delhi, Noida, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, and Hyderabad. And with the employee strength of around 6,000 plus in India itself, we are catering to major customers in India, ranging from government sector and in private sector, if we talk about airport sectors as well. We are an ISO certified company and have experience of working on key technologies like IoT, data center and cloud, biometrics, ERP, AI and big data, automation opportunities as well. So on this slide, we wanted to provide a snapshot of our presence from sea to space, if we talk about. And so NEC Corporation has a very versatile expertise and solution capabilities, as is visible from this map. We have been servicing thousands of customers, including niche segments like satellite, retail, logistics, and hospitality segment, catering to some government sectors as well. In submarine cabling, one of the projects which we did for Kenai, where we laid down fiber optics from, we connected the Chennai location to Andaman Nicobar. So that was one of the major projects we did for Kenai. And our main focus remains for the ICT-driven solutions, where we want to improve the social infrastructure. So if we talk about R&D facilities across the globe, we have around 8 centers. If we talk about the India location, our R&D center is based out of Bangalore. And I talked about some patents, around 45,000 patents we have been released so far. And as with most of the high-tech firms, we invest around top 10% of our top lines into the R&D space. Across, if you see on this slide, we have mentioned that $1 billion we have been spending on research, on the research labs. Yeah. So our presence in India, as I talk about, over 7 decades, we have been in India, and since then we have worked with various government. We have worked on various government initiatives. We have worked on various government projects of national importance, like Ador, UIDAI project, where we are catering to around 1.3 billion citizens of India. Some law enforcement projects like criminal identification for Karnataka, Kerala, and Surat, where we have been ranked #1 by various rating agencies here as well. We have been supporting the state police departments to help reduce the criminal activities in these locations. And on the public transport services projects like BRT in Ahmedabad, we have our presence in these cities as well. And in submarine cabling from Chennai to Andaman Nicobar Island, which I just talked about, we have done projects of such kind as well. And in airport, recently in the airport service sector, if I talk about, we have installed our biometric solutions, which has helped in touchless boarding of the passengers across 4 airports currently, Pune, Vizag, Vijayawada, and Varanasi. And we have some other solutions, biometric solutions, which we have deployed across AI airports across India. And so these are some of the key projects which we have done, which are highlighted on this map, starting from 1956 to 2024, and we are still growing and moving ahead. So our solutions is divided basically into 2, the smart cities and smart transportation. So I will first cover some smart cities solutions which we are offering currently. And as we see that our catering is basically into law enforcement and border control, we are also catering to government customers where we are doing some security infrastructure projects, citizen ID project, digital government infrastructure projects. In aviation, we are trying to improve the passenger safety and comfort with the help of the end-to-end touchless access at the airports. And in smart and safe city projects, we are doing effective city operations, urban governance, trying to improve the citizen safety with the help of any emergency response system, and try to reduce the crime at these, with the help of the smart city and safety projects. And so I would also like to talk about some in-house solutions which NEC currently have. If you see on the left bottom side, we have this command control center, which leverages the advanced technology for real-time monitoring of the data integration and helps support making decision at that particular moment, and which can, it's like a command control center for the agencies. And we have IoT, which enables seamless connectivity and data exchange between diverse devices and systems. And we have also built a citizen engagement platform, which is an online platform for the citizens to interact with the government agencies, where they can give feedbacks to the government. And we have video analytics solutions, which delivers real-time insights from video data and enhances the safety and security for the customers or citizens. On this slide, it's a snapshot of some key case studies which we have taken part in smart cities and citizen ID projects and criminal identification. So if we talk about some smart city projects like Saharanpur, Meerut, Delhi, and Gurugram, where we have implemented the ICCC and the smart meters and traffic management system. And we have experience working on criminal identification projects like Karnataka, Surat, and Kerala. And we have also worked with AI at the 4 airports, which we talked about, where we try to improve the passenger comfort and safety there. Covering the smart transportation, so here we have our experience of our aim is to resolve the issues for both the passenger as well as the operating agencies, try to leverage the power of ICT to solve the social and economic challenges such as traffic congestions in public transport. And the solutions like smart parking, we have passenger information system, smart waste, water management, mobile ticketing system, e-money system, and ERS, emergency response system. These are some of the case studies in intelligent transport management. So with the help of this, we are trying to improve the public transit service across 4 cities currently in Ahmedabad, Surat, Pune, and Hubli, Dharwad. And we're also working in one of the states at UP where we have implemented vehicle tracking system across 5,000 buses, where in case a person is feeling insecure and he wants to notify this message to, with the help of this regional command centers across 20 region command centers across the state. So if he's feeling unsafe, then he can press the button and within few minutes, the help would be reached to him and he could be more secure. And apart from the India experience, we have implemented some solutions in Middle East as well, like Doha and Makkah. In Doha, we recently talked about that we participated in FIFA 2022, where we try to improve the transport management system across 3,000 buses. And in Makkah, we try to improve the try to modernize the buses at that location. Across 400 buses we covered there. Yeah. So that's it from my side. We do have our stall installed outside of this room, where we are presenting our biometric solution and other in-house solutions. So I would request after this, you can just go and check those solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanpreet. I think we have recovered a few minutes between all the speakers, so we are doing well. Get you out for lunch quickly. But we have got some very interesting conversations and topics from the subsequent speakers. So I want to invite Mr. Anand Bhaskar, CEO and co-founder of Digital Blanket. We were in IBM together, so my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the August panel and to the organizers for giving an opportunity to a young startup to participate in an August gathering here addressing a critical infrastructure layer of our country. I am Anand Bhaskar, CEO and co-founder at Digital Blanket, which is an early stage startup focused on IoT, and it's an IoT and SaaS platform focused primarily on decarbonization and sustainability in the real estate sector. Real estate sector, as most of you know, contributes nearly 40% of the economies of the carbon of the emissions in the world, and that's an important sector to handle. I think my friend talked earlier on about the importance of sustainability after the construction is over, and we see that this is a big problem primarily from an operations perspective, and that's where we sort of come in to sort of create a future where businesses and the planet can thrive together. That's the option on which we are sort of currently working on. Moving forward, if you look at it, the need for accelerating decarbonization and sustainability isn't a matter of choice today. I mean, it's a key mandate. It's a boardroom conversation across all corporations. CFOs have to report how they are doing on emissions. And clearly, there is a mandate, there are requirements, there is a ever urgency to sort of reduce the carbon emissions. But what is the challenge that the organizations are facing in this perspective? First is the fact that, during the construction phase, there are a lot of technologies, a lot of areas where there is a lot of technology which comes in. But how do you make it sustainable? How do you make it repeatable? The most important problem which CFOs and sustainability officers are facing is the lack of reliable, authentic data which they can rely on and sort of take it forward from there, right? So that's the key area where customers are sort of struggling from in terms of having the tools to sort of progressively manage and reduce their carbon emission. With that as the backdrop, if you look at the real estate world is, if you look at, there are two parts to it. One is during the construction phase and second is during the operations phase. The operations phase especially, as one of our earlier speakers pointed out, there is a lot of issues around operating. You create an infrastructure, but how do you maintain it? How do you ensure that the operators are trained? Today, we have a lot of issues around some of these areas with dispersed building environments, having multiple vendors, ability to sort of concentrate and collect data from multiple sources. There's a huge issue around manual maintenance, ability of, it's very, very personnel dependent. In today's world, ability to get trained and skilled personnel is a big challenge. And energy and space wastage is something that we see all across in all the buildings. The fundamental issue here is buildings were designed for comfort and not for economy/optimization. I was sitting there and I was freezing, and I'm sure somebody out there sitting there may not be feeling very comfortable. So I think those are some of the big issues. And similarly, if you look at it from an asset management as well, it's very, very siloed. You have your BMS systems, you have your water systems, you have your energy systems. All of them are siloed, but they are but they are primarily set up, but not managed on a regular basis. So these are some of the issues that our real estate industries are facing, and that's what we and we see 6 key areas of change which we can influence using digitization. The first one is around certification. WELL is a building certification, and there is a lot of work that needs to be done on that. Building management systems primarily were used for monitoring. Right? Today, there is an opportunity with digitization to monitor, to provide visibility, to monitor and control, and all of those areas leveraging AI and sort of all the predictive analytics that can be put into it. Energy saving, decarbonization in the entire real estate arena, with HVACs consuming almost 40-50% of the building's energy consumption, is a huge area for optimization, and currently a lot of organizations are focused on that. We have colleagues here working on operational and interactive digital twin. That gives a lot of opportunity for vendors, for customers to manage their entire infrastructure from one place, give them multiple views, hierarchical views of managing a building versus a portfolio of buildings or portfolio of hospitals or hotels or whatever you have. Last but not the least, employees today are also determining or are demanding much better services when they come to office. They want to be, and especially with hybrid working coming into place, automated seat allocation, analytics around that, space management, car parking, cafeteria management, all of these services can be integrated with energy management so that you have a much better ability to manage and maintain a building. With that as the backdrop, what do? At Digital Blanket, we have a very simple goal, which is to help real estate become digitized and intelligent. We do three things. We create intelligent facilities, wherein we automate building management systems, create a digital twin, which sort of helps manage your entire portfolio of facilities and do a continuous commissioning, if you will, right? So basically, today, as I said, there is an operator who sort of leaves who's very happy when he does not get a complaint because the chillers are operating at full blast, irrespective of whether it's required or not. So those sort of things. Similarly, leveraging AI-powered energy, space usage, and facility analytics. And last but not the least, a continuous facility operations. We have been talking to a lot of portfolio management companies who are now, as you see them, see, this is an OpEx expenditure, and typically that's always under stress. How do you sort of help manage that operations with them and sort of digitize those operations so that there is less reliability on people? Decarbonization, managing and monitoring and controlling our energy consumption is a key area that we work with, and similarly from a transforming workplace experiences. I'll go a bit faster in the interest of time, and this is what the platform does, very simply put. We take real-time data from your systems, we take dynamic data which sort of moves once in a week, once in a month, or whatever you may be, and there is a static data which could come from your BIM, from your asset register, so on and so forth. Gets all of that onto our platform, which is the Digital Blanket, looks at aggregation, compilation, analyzing, and benchmarking to provide outputs based on what you need. So basically, the beauty of the platform is this integrates across all the elements, all the subsystems within your platform to provide a unified output. While we do ESG reporting, I think we leave it best to the consultants and to the organizations who have a separate unit to manage that. So our value proposition remains that we will be the authentic, reliable, and auditable source of data across all the systems that would be required. So if you look at all the other speakers prior to me, how do we sort of integrate into that? In the core network, you have your IT network, your OT network, your sensors. Then you have your connected devices, which could be the lighting management system, the sensors, Wi-Fi, AP, BLEs, and we all know that typically the facilities have a different network compared to the corporate IT network. And then on top of that, you have your building platform systems, which connect, collect, analyze the data, which leads to a solutions which the customers want, which could be around BMS, LMS, sustainability, so on and so forth. So our value proposition is the fact that we have modular but integrated solution, which is built for scale, and I'll talk more about the use cases that we have to sort of bring about the point. So to summarize, these are the outcomes we help drive. We help energy savings and accelerated decarbonization to the extent of 20% is what we have seen in some of the buildings. Optimization in space utilization with flexible seating, analytics around that, and how do you sort of help with that? That's sort of 30%. And the very important one is improvement in compliance and efficiency, which is music to an operations or an ESG leader or to the CFO in the organization. So these are some of the outcomes that we help drive. These are the products that we have, which is primarily around automate, energy, DB Optima, which is primarily for computer-aided facility operations and maintenance management, and Spazio, which is for workplace technology suite for hybrid work. These are some of the dashboards that we create for our customers, but I'll sort of skip that in the interest of time and focus primarily on the use cases. These are the use cases that we deliver using our products. Energy management, asset performance management, fault detection and diagnostics, root cause and impact analysis, sustainability and regulatory compliance management, command and control center, so on and so forth. So basically, we extend that beyond energy to water, waste, emission, depending on what the customers want to manage and how they want to sort of manage that. We are also working on from an engineering perspective on making all of this AI first. We have an initial set of use cases that we are working on around energy forecasting, cooling demand forecasting, space forecasting, anomaly detection and diagnostics. And we have had a couple of, and the new one that we are working on is around energy arbitrage for buildings with green energy and fossil fuel energy. How do they sort of leverage that part? And in the interest of time, I'll just quickly run you through very quickly around some of the case studies that we have had. A Fortune 500 company with almost 300,000 square feet, 2,500 plus employees, was able to reduce 18% energy, we were able to deliver 18% energy savings. This is a very interesting use case, one of the largest airports in the world, where 280 gates are being integrated where when we integrate with their flight display information system, their energy management system, their BMS system, to sort of switch on and switch off the lighting and HVAC depending on the flight arrival and departure times. And all of this was done remotely. They had a change in the vendor and we had to sort of do an integration again. This is something, of course, I'm not at liberty to share the name of the airport, but I think, once you get the name, once you know that there are 280 gates in that airport, I'm sure it's a fair understanding of who we're talking about. Similarly, we have got a couple of large corporate real estate firms where we have done energy metering, where we have been able to integrate their BMS across multiple buildings, 1.5 million square feet, and another large enterprise wherein we were able to save them, where we were able to put in a lot of use cases whereby they could reduce their facility operations staff by almost 40-50%. So these are some of the use cases that we have. In the interest of time, I'll just sort of move ahead to sort of close. That at the end of the day, our relationship with our customers is primarily to help them in the journey towards decarbonization, make better use of the assets that they have invested in, make it much more sustainable, and in the end, drive a much higher ROI for the investments that they have put in in their real estate assets. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Anand. Wonderful. You're doing some great work on sustainability. Our next speaker is Dr. Chinmay Hegde. He's the Managing Director of Astrikos, long-term friend, and has done some great work. So
Thank you, Dr. Sumit. So, of course, I need, okay, my presentation is on. Well, so good afternoon. I think I'm the man between the lunch, or maybe a couple of us more, I think. So, well, in the interest of the time, I'll just start off with the solution and just a quick introduction about the company. And first of all, thanks for the organizers again for this opportunity, like every year almost. And thanks, Dr. Sumit, for calling me out here. I represent Astrikos.Ai, and we saw right now the devices side of the safe city or urban mobility side from the Norden solution, and then the video intelligence from the Videonetics. Dear friend Ravi spoke about it, and then we heard about the solutions from NEC about the infrastructure side of it entirely. Now I'm going to talk about something different, which is how to make all these systems generate a data, of course, which is still not part of the video analytics. Maybe it is raw data. What do we do with the raw data? So that is what Astrikos platform by name of SIA Pomnific addresses. And how we have done this in some of the cases I'm going to show you, and also I'm going to talk about some of the acute angles where data intelligence, business intelligence, how it can power the urban administration in order to keep up the safety, security, and the various unseen areas or the blind spots around it. So just a quick intro on Astrikos. Astrikos platform is predominantly the data-based machine learning powered artificial intelligence platform, which works on the big data. We work in the areas of smart city, safe city, as well as the sustainability or the sustainable urban infrastructures. So we work across the globe from India, the company from India to the globe. That's what we, bear the flag as. And we are already in India and Middle East, Southeast Asia, and now in Americas. Just recently we have entered into these territories. So just a glimpse of the platform, what does it do overall? So now I said about what we can do about the raw data that is getting generated from in an urban system, right? So when we look at the urban mobility, it could be the safety, security, surveillance, it could be. The cameras are one type of the instruments that generate a set of a data that is probably the video log, which will be taken care by Videonetics kind of a solution. However, there is something which is further created or which can be a leftover, which is nothing but the raw logs. Right? The raw logs are also getting generated. Similar to the cameras, there are traffic controllers, there are sensors. Right? Nowadays, if you see in any of the new adaptive traffic implementations, you probably see that there are a lot of VAC systems which are coming in, vehicle actuated control or vehicle accumulated control systems. All these data helps the urban mobility, right? It gets accumulated, but nobody probably uses it to make it more, bring in more intelligence into the urban mobility, urban security, urban safety. Some of the cases, what we do is ultimately create a business intelligence around it, where this particular data is taken and the intelligence is driven out of that using the machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms, and then put it back into the action by means of looking at all the systems in a holistic angle, such as, if whatever camera is detecting, which has to be given to the emergency management system or the top level executive management of the urban administration, and then help them in planning, forecasting for the respective decisions to be taken and automatically pushing it back into the workflow or the computer-aided dispatch kind of a systems. So this is what this particular screen talks about, is one of the such cases, is about how the data could be used. And further to that, how do we give a better visualization using the GIS-based digital twin experience and all of them. Create a intelligence dashboard, and then also create the 3D-based GIS system where also it can take to the nth level of the data-driven approach overall and drill down to the granular issue and then get the intelligence out of it and automatically suggest the advisories, because unless the analytics is or the data is useless if it doesn't drive the action. So that is where the system comes into the picture to do that. You see on your screen, there are about, I think, 1.4 million records. Out of that, a small 3 or 4 advisories for the urban administrators who do not have time to take decisions, right? It has to act as the decision support system. That's what you are seeing. And more, giving some of the geotemporal, geocadastral mapping out of it, and also detect the congestion spots or where are the more accidents or incidents are happening because of the uncontrolled mobility or improperly managed mobility, and how it is trending over the period of time. All these kind of acute analytics are brought into the picture. Similarly, it can be for any scale, right? It can be from the data from the multiple agnostic sources where the platform can understand that and then also do these things. These are some of the use cases which I'm showing you out here. And more to go is, yes, we do have a camera kind of assets or a controller kind of assets. They are there. The thing is, it is not just only to see that whether they are on or off, or they are sending data, but are they really sending accurate data, or are they sending the wavered data? That's the most important aspect. That is where the micro analytics comes into the picture on the assets and the reliability of the data that is coming from the assets. So then what do we do out of that? The thing is, take these kind of intelligence and put it back into the action by means of the computer-aided dispatch systems, feeding into that, or the workflow management systems, or the business process management systems with the power of the data intelligence. So that is what is one of the examples which you are seeing on your screen right now. I'll not explain much of the screen in the interest of the time, right? So similarly, the analysis of the post-process, right? If there is a particular incident that has happened, learning from the past, which we call it as, right? The learning from the past and implementing for the future good. So that is what is the case. If emergency management in a city or urban environment is a multi-stakeholder system, right? Each stakeholder has an SLA to manage. Who is missing the SLA, which has actually impacted the emergency movement, and response time has gone bad because of the, figuring out who is that who has not taken the responsibility, who has not been the responsible or accountable at that particular instance. So in order to deep dive into that and then use that to a generative advisory for that, right? Generative AI, which we call. How do we use it? And also the same input can be given to the, the large language model, which we have done, and generate even further intelligence from the large language model systems. And some more potential use cases out here, evidencing with the visualization. The visualization is the key aspect where you can quickly convey your message. That is where the GIS or the 3D or a digital twin kind of a systems come into the picture. One of the case study, the largest, the emergency response support system on the face of the earth, Uttar Pradesh 112, which is quite neighboring, right? So where we have implemented our intelligence platform and which has gone live recently, about a month ago, right? So where, the target of the project is written out there, improving the response time in the entire state. What is the best example other than the state that is catering to 27 crore plus people, right? So that is where the issue is, and some of the cases out here, probably, I don't know whether it plays, some of the quick videos out here, how we have done, and how we, such kind of a places where we are doing and where we are helping with the data intelligence to the urban administrators, where they can pull in their data into our platform on the click and drag and drop and then start building their own analytics. Even up to that level we have made it. And a log on a particular day is more than 40 lakh logs, which is being handled by the system in this case, and still the intelligence is driven. So that's where I think I need some help out here. Yes. So more and more importance into the emergency management, because emergency management is key in terms of it. It can go up to any level for the capability of the platform is, humongous, and some of the partners and customers who are working with us very closely across the geographies, and some of the proud customers we have delivered to them successful, the delivery of the projects, and happy to do more in India, and some of the awards, accolades of our companies are listed out here. And that's it from my side. Thank you. I'm open for the questions. Our stall is set up there. Please visit us, and some couple of videos are being displayed out there to understand our platform more. Our team is there to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinmay. Our next speaker is Mr. Bikash Jha, Vice President and Head of Public Sector Sales from Awiros. We did hear about Awiros in the previous presentation. Now we are going to see the detail behind it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sumit. Thank you very much, Bharat Exhibition, for the opportunity, and distinguished guests. So I represent Awiros, which is still a startup, I would say, because it's not even completed 10 years. But the kind of things Awiros has done, you'll really proud of, because this is a company originating out of India. So Awiros was established in 2015 with some analytics, with some enthusiast engineers. Currently, we have our office in Gurgaon, and we have over 80 team members. Half of them are computer vision and data scientists. So we have a very strong team working on AI locally here in India. Okay. We have opened our offices in Bangalore, have resident offices in Mumbai and Dubai. And the way things are going up, I think by next year we'll be opening our office in US as well as in Latin America, in Sao Paulo. So we have an app store for video analytics, have about over 70 various types of analytics onboarded on our platform, which I'm going to show in the next slides. Around 1,000 videos per minute, 60,000 feeds deployed on our platform, 3 million lines of code have been written, 1.5 million deep learning interfaces per second we process. So we are a Series A funded company. Around 2022-23, we got 7 million funding from very big deep tip VCs, Xfinity and Inflexer and Veda VC. So the problem of video analytics, what we realized very early was there are multiple use cases, individual platforms. On those platforms and cameras, the analytics are running. So once you have to deploy a new use case, then you have to have a separate infrastructure for that. So we understood this very early, and that's how we started building a unified platform which can cater to multiple video analytics use cases under one roof. So on the left side, as you can see, we have different use cases like facial recognition or people counting or traffic monitoring, all these things running on separately on different platforms with cameras and servers. On right, you can see it's a dynamic, scalable, unified system of Awiros. So you have, at the base, you have different cameras, then integrated servers, and on that, Awiros platform is sitting. So in a single platform, you can have multiple use cases. In a way that today I have acquired one use case for video analytics, and I want to have another analytics, so we can easily transform that particular camera, giving a different feedback and doing a different analytics. So those kind of flexibility we provide. So currently we have 70 use cases already built by us, but we are also open to having other developers deploy solutions on our platform. So on the next slide, as you can see, we have Kubernetes-based architecture, so it is very highly scalable. We have seamless integration with other VA video analytics ecosystems. We are hardware agnostic. On the left side, you can see that we have click and upload kind of user interface, so very easy to deploy. In the morning session, Jaiswal Saab was speaking about NEC and Awiros bringing together various analytics in Delhi Safe City projects. So if you go around in Delhi and you find a yellow pole that belongs to NEC and there are cameras, so all the feeds going back is being processed by Awiros. So there are around more than 10 use cases which we are doing, including the facial recognition for watch list monitoring. And this is so far the largest database which we are processing, which we have received from Delhi Police. So very large number of subjects being watched. If the moment they come in front of the cameras, there will be an alert, and there are series of actions which Delhi Police can take. Similarly, there are use cases like women in distress, the crowd counting, the traffic monitoring, the accident detection. Those kind of use cases are there in the Delhi Police deployment. So this is how the stack works. So we have the cameras, which could be feed from any type of camera, video camera or mobile camera. And then it's going processing on the hardware on which the platform sits. And then we have the marketplace for our platform. We cater to various type of segments. So obviously smart city, safe city, traffic, ITMS solutions we have. But at the same time, we are catering to a lot of unique use cases, which I'm going to tell in next slides for the industry and making things safe. So some of the unique ones are at the ports, for the aviation industry, the oil and gas, data centers. This is a snapshot of some of our customers. So we have deployed the largest safe city analytics, including facial recognition in Bangalore Safe City. Delhi Safe City is already under commissioning. We are going to start JK Safe City, where we are going to deploy over 200 facial recognition cameras along with other analytics. There is one very large project which we are going to do start soon with Infosys, which is called DG Arm. So it will be integrating 23 airport cameras into one place, And we'll be doing a lot of analytics for any passengers who are traveling from international passengers who are traveling into India, doing facial recognition, analyzing their behavior, and then generating relevant alerts if we found them in any suspicious activities. These are some of the snapshots of our use cases. So PPE detection. So we are also doing in oil and gas industry for PPE detection. Those are very specialized. We have fire detection, person collapsing, facial recognition, intrusion. So there are multiple use cases for industry and smart city equally. There are some places where we have mobile phone uses. Then we have process monitoring, where we want to see how people are behaving on the, doing the processes. If there is a violation, we can immediately make an alert. In the other one, you can see there is a mobile phone uses worker. So in this video, you can see object counting. So a process-oriented object is being counted. And this is one use case which we did in state of Telangana. There was an event, and we used drone cameras to capture the crowd, segregation and generate law enforcement that where they should put their focus on managing the crowd. These are some of the ITMS solutions which we have. So, for example, vehicle plate, license plate detections. Sorry. We are also working on warehouse automation, and we are seeing a lot of adoption which is happening in the area of quality inspections and others, which I'm going to show in the next slide. So I'll skip some of the slides in the interest of time, but I have some very interesting use case. So there is one use case which I flipped this slide was we are working with Pratt & Whitney for aircraft engine inspection. So when they are leasing the inspection, there are some parts which, when they get it back, there are parts are missing. And that entire inspection process was taking long time. So we reduced that time to, 5 to 10 minutes. And we developed a project called Percept, which we are taking to other markets in the world. So Awiros is actually globally selling this solution to other airlines. Similarly, we are getting some requests for unique use cases of engine part inspection. We have done a lot of projects on hackathon, which is displayed here. Awiros and future. So we participated in CVPR, which is computer vision and pattern recognition in Seattle, happened recently. The latest things which is going on is multimedia, multimodal AI. So for example, for video analytics, you have to train with images. For NLP, you have to train with text and voice data. Now, everything is getting converged. So in video analytics, we are working to bring on various types of analytics using voice, data, as well as text together. So accuracy will drastically improve. We are also using GenAI images to train the new models. And on heterogeneous knowledge distillation, what we are doing, we are taking larger models, and in order to make them work on smaller hardware, we are teaching to bring a smaller model. So these are the futuristic thing which was demonstrated in CVPR. We are already doing it for last 6 years. We are open for collaboration. We have a stall here. So we welcome you all to see our offerings and reach to us if you want to have any kind of collaborations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vikas. Excellent work you're doing in the video analytics space. Our next speaker is Mr. Gurinder Singh, Technical Head of India and SARC from Netskope.
So, very good afternoon, and thank you so much for giving me time on this podium. So, just wanted to thank all the speakers who imparted a lot of knowledge with respect to creating safe city for India, as well as probably going forward for other countries and geos also. So, my topic of discussion is a bit different as compared to the critical infra which we were talking about. But again, like if we talk about specifically any critical infra, it's generating a lot of data. And my topic of discussion is more on how to safeguard this data. Like say if you are talking about these video cameras generating a lot of images, or we are getting a lot of feeds from different sensors across different places in the city, and there is a ransomware attack, or probably there is a malware attack. How exactly we can safeguard the data which has been created, and what are the different zero trust principles which can be applied in order to basically safeguard this data. So ideally, data security is there in the information security field for quite some time. But what we have observed is, specifically on the data security side, if we talk about a lot of large deployments on the data security side across different organizations in India, so the technology is failing because the kind of alerts which this technology generates, so it's alert fatigue driven technology, and the incident management become very difficult for any organization who is dealing with large amount of data. So in a pitfall, what I can say is out of the different information security fields, this particular security field, I would say, became a pain. And a lot of organizations were ideally adapting this particular technology just for the compliance purpose. So there was no good value add which was coming out, which I have seen. There are a lot of deployments across large enterprises in India and even government bodies where this technology is adapted because of compliance, but if I talk about the value adds, they are not there. So how exactly we can drive more value add with the help of cloud computing and AI technology? Because initially, like Archimedes said, like if you can give me a fulcrum, I can lift the earth. So basically, if you have the right set of tools and technologies driven by a specific strategy, like I was talking about the zero trust strategy, which has been there in the information security field since last more than 10 years now, how we can apply these principles and how we can deal with the challenges which we have observed on a lot of deployments which we are seeing across India, specifically on the data security side, and make it useful or a value add for the organizations and even the government like smart city. So typically when you talk about zero trust principles, these are few of the key elements on the zero trust principle side. Whether you talk about the continuous verification, so any data which is generated, so it has to be verified whether the data which you are generating, is it not corrupted or manipulated by hackers? And again, if you want to basically safeguard the data, like you need to adapt the technologies which can basically limit the blast radius so that even if there are attacks on the data, how it can be safeguarded. So there has to be backups of backups with respect to security technologies, like defense in depth can be one of the approach inside the zero trust security framework. And again, any kind of data which is generated, so it has to be explicit. Explicit trust has to be there on the data. It should not be implicit. Like there have been a lot of hacking attempts which have happened. Like say if I talk about like some of the recent ones like SolarWinds. So where the attacker misused the implicit trust on the identity provider, and with the help of that, it was able to infiltrate the SolarWinds application. So ideally, like say if we are giving authorization to a particular user for a specific data, it has to be explicitly checked and based on the user behavior. Like if it has been attacked or it's a genuine user, based on the behavior of the user, you have to basically decide whether this particular user is a genuine user or not, and the data which is coming or being used by this particular user is protected or safeguarded. In addition to that, there has to be a lot of automation, because when we are generating these petabytes of data, how exactly we can basically automate the identification of this data, and how exactly the ecosystem can be formed which can help in safeguarding this data holistically. So When you talk about these zero trust principles, which have been now started getting applicable on the data security field, it is helping us basically safeguard this critical data. And even the government, like if you talk about NIC, one of the big body on the information security and cyber security for India, they have also started adapting the zero trust strategies in order to safeguard their infra. So when you talk about specifically the zero trust framework, which I talked about, like it has been there since last more than 10 years, and a lot of organizations have started adapting this framework. There is some misconception with respect to identity. A lot of organizations feel that identity is basically the zero trust framework, or if we are able to deploy a multi-factor authentication or authorization solution, so that forms part of a zero trust security for the organization. But this is not true. Ideally, if we talk about a zero trust security strategy, there are a lot of facets to it. Identity is one key element. I'm not saying that we have to completely bypass or we don't have to think about the identity piece, but it is one of the key element. But there are other multiple elements also inside the zero trust security framework, which is helping us safeguard the data. So when you talk about identity, I would say like MFA solution. So we have started basically using a lot of MFA solution to authorize a particular user. But these MFA solution has to be strategically designed. So like for what kind of user I am providing these MFA, it should not be that it has been allowed for all the users and there is no check with respect to seniority or what kind of data a particular user is going to access. So there has to be a strategic frame of mind when we are provisioning these MFA solutions or enabling these MFA solutions in order to get access to a specific data. In addition to that, like we have seen that a lot of banking applications, they are using password-based or SMS-based authorization, which can be easily hacked by the hackers. So in that case, when we are adapting these MFA solutions, there have to be a lot of contextual information which we should think about when we are deploying these solutions in our enterprises or organizations or even the government bodies. In addition to that, if I talk about zero trust strategy, it also emphasizes on the revamping of the traditional VPN solution. So we know that traditional VPN solutions, which basically give access to your private applications. So there can be a lot of applications which you are trying to access inside your data center. So whether these applications are giving access in a secured manner or not, if you talk about the zero trust principles, they stress that the traditional VPN solutions, there are a lot of pitfalls with respect to lateral movement of the users or the hackers, or there is a possibility of discovery of your enterprise or entire data center or footprints which are there inside your DC with the help of traditional VPN solution because of the underlying disadvantages or you can say pitfalls in the architecture which a traditional VPN solution has. But when you talk about a zero trust VPN solution, so they are more secured because they are able to prohibit the lateral movement of a hacker or a user, and they are basically giving access to a specific service or application instead of the complete network. So in that case, you will be safeguarded better with respect to accessing a specific application or service or data in a protected manner. In addition to that, the zero trust VPN solution also can be enabled with scanning for data leakage. So, or any kind of attack, like even if there is an authorized user, he may attack, there is a possibility he has been infected and he can start instigating a DOS attack. So these new age zero trust solutions are something which are able to even prohibit DOS or DDoS attacks and other kind of vulnerabilities which can be there on the application side. So this is again one of the strategy which organizations or the government have started adapting. In addition to that, this particular strategy or framework also talks about a lot of contextual information. So any kind of access which you are doing for your data, it has to be contextually aware, wherein based on the behavior changes on the session, it is able to take the decision accordingly. Like say if you talk about a Norden attack, so he was an authorized user of NSA, but the kind of applications he has access to inside the NSA, he should not have been access to. So basically, there was a inherent disadvantage with respect to the security solution which was deployed, which was giving access to this particular authorized user more. And that was the, I would say, advantage which this particular hacker took, and he was able to exploit a lot of data from the NSA. So ideally, there has to be a lot of contextual information and decision has to be made in real time. whether this particular user should have access to this resource or not. And based on the behavioral changes, the security technologies should be adaptive. They should not be static. Like if you have created a rule, it should not be 0, 1. But based on the behavior changes, the policy also has to be adaptive, wherein if they see some anomaly, there has to be a right policy which has to be applicable for the user. So granularity of applications, granularity of, you can say, policies inside the security solutions, again, become a very important facet in the zero trust strategy in order to protect your data. In addition to that, we talked about the big data and AI, which is, again, feeding a lot of critical infra. These technologies, these underlying technologies have become a tool. Like I talked about the Archimedes, who said, if you give me the right tool, I can move the earth. Similarly, a lot of pitfalls on the data leakage prevention solution side because of the heavy generation of data and alert can be easily mitigated with the help of AI as well as big data analysis solutions, which have become now usable inside these technologies. With the help of that, we are able to better protect your data. In addition to that, the zero trust strategy also talk about formulating a proper ecosystem where you are not dependent on only one technology. So if there is a failure or a loophole on a one technology, there has to be other multiple technologies which form an ecosystem which are able to share the information in real time of the contextual user of or the transaction, and on the basis of that, we can take a real-time decision whether this particular transaction is an anomaly or a real user or not. And so ideally, we are trying to decrease the data clutter with the help of these different strategies, which are inherent part of the zero trust security strategy. With the usage of these inherent technologies, we are able to basically safeguard the data or protect your data in a better manner. And these are some of the advantages which we basically provision with the help of this strategy on the data protection part of the solution. So and again, it can be applied to different network elements inside the smart city, which we are talking about by the respected dignitaries. So I come from an organization named Netskope, and we talk about data protection, cloud security, and hybrid security. And we can discuss. We have a stall outside, so if you want to discuss, we can go more in depth into how we can devise a proper data security strategy for your data which you want to safeguard. Thank you so much.
Gurinder.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Our next speaker is Mr. Amit Mehta, DGM Government Vertical of Alcatel-Lucent Technologies.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Amit, and I look onto the government vertical for basically Alcatel-Lucent Enterprise. And thanks for taking the time up from your busy schedule in just working this out. So we are present in India, say about for 20, we are a 100-year plus company, and with present in India for say about last 25 years, lot of customers globally present and headquartered in France, and with research centers and development and everything based out of India. So we have lot of Indian presence now, and development centers in India from 25 years, tax supports from India, employees 500 plus, high growth in, we are doing real good in government vertical. We have been present in a lot of spaces, and for all English speaking countries, we support directly from India. So you can say we are doing a lot to enhance our, local content present in India as such, all firmware development for all our products and everything from India. So a small video I have actually, which will give you the idea for, okay. So, sorry. Sorry, it reached.
I think you're in a loop.
So basically, data analytics and data security, everything is there, but we are the ones who ensure the media for the data to be transferred. So all the media analytics, whether it is voice, whether it's data, whether it's wireless, whatsoever you talk about, all the media that is required, securely with bandwidth hungry and everything, that is something we provide. We provide it across the verticals. We provide it with government, education, healthcare, transportation, energy, utilities, hospitality. These are some of the areas where we concentrate much on, but of course we are present in almost every sector you talk about. Few of my product lines, actually, if you talk about networking product lines, whether it's industrial, whether it's temperature hardened, whether it's core switches, you talk about, high bandwidth hungry, or what you talk about, we have all sort of complete switching platform, say about from 50 terabit to say about industrial switches, all L2 switches, SMB switches, whatsoever talk about. Wireless portfolio, we have our wireless portfolio.
Sir, can I ask you to switch off your mobile phone, please? Thank you.
We have our wireless portfolio as well. Wireless portfolio, Wi-Fi 5 is out now. Wi-Fi 6 is in, but 6E, 7, you talk about as soon as, it's bandwidth hungry. As you grow up with the bandwidth, it's going on. So we have all the platforms on Wi-Fi platforms. We have complete network management, wireless, all on cloud, on-premise, whatsoever talk about. We have all the solutions available with us. Of course, these are our voice platforms. Voice platform now is going on for more of cloud platforms. So we have our voice platform, varieties of phones. We are present almost in every industry in India. We have been servicing, say, about more than 30 years now on voice platform. We have cloud platforms you talk about. Cloud platform in terms of collaboration, and unified communication. Any and every platform you talk about voice, we completely have that in our complete portfolio. So now going on to, safety platform, what we can see is these are the key things which we feel are the key, parameters which actually is the contention for the voice, for the safety platform. So so what you are talking about, smart retail, smart education, smart hospitality, smart retail, healthcare, and you talk about anything which relates to smart, you have to have media in place. So we provide all the media and everything for all this. So our media is a safe, digital, connected, engaged, completely mobile with our mobility solutions, healthy, sustainable, resilient. You can talk about any of the IoT platforms of smart lighting, smart waste management, smart transport, smart parking, whatsoever, for all the data to be transmitted and everything at the back end. So all the IoT elements regarding to support all the smart city elements, actually, we provide at the back end on our switching platform. Whether it's autonomous network, whether it's IoTs, whether it's business innovations, you talk about, we are the only vendors to provide the complete converged solution for this. Not the only, but among the very few vendors who provide the complete converged solution, not only the autonomous networks, but IoT, and right from our data center platform to the industrial field level, whatsoever connectivity you require on active platform, we have that with us. Further, these are some of the IoT converged platform networks, what we do. We not only connect that, but we connect that onto the mobility platform, customize the apps for whatsoever required, and we just try to customize the ad and the mobility required at the back end for the applications in various, so all that connectivity platform, something we provide with us. This is our Rainbow platform. Initially, out here, this is our Rainbow platform, which is a application platform which ensures you can connect our complete data along with voice and everything, with the apps of the customer's needs and everything, and we can customize with the APIs on that platform as well for the connectivity required. Our OS hardened, verified, so security is the key concern at the moment with the government. Lot of initiatives coming in for security concerns. So all the certifications globally, domestically, whatsoever required, we have been providing that. So whatever switching platform we have is completely secured, and we try to ensure that all the security concerns are being taken into considerations. So these are few of the smart city network environment, multi-tenancy, simplified operations, security, quality experience, environmental and availability. So whatsoever, whensoever required, completely all solutions. This is particularly a particular schematic diagram which we provided for all the computing required out there. Integration with, these are the public Wi-Fi solutions, so, and that is a set was switching, and once you require the public Wi-Fi solutions for all the public Wi-Fi solution for connectivity, so we have that complete platform end-to-end completely on cloud and in prime as well. So we have been providing for say about 6,500 gram panchayats we have provided to be connected completely on cloud platforms. We have provided that in various states of India. Complete IoT management, with including virtualized, centralized management. We provide everything, on our switching platform. These are the particularly IOC workflows, which actually are key for any safe city environments. So whether you talk about the API integration, whatsoever, you have to get it, the data feed at the central level. So we provide that at, with the middle level and the infrastructure level with applications, with the integration with the application, everything that is we can provide. Some of the smart city use cases, we have provided a lot of smart cities in India. We have say about 10 smart cities we have done as of now, and we are doing few more, and we have across the globe, there are few more cases that will be integrated with video surveillance and everything we have been doing. These are some of our global customers, and where we have actually supplied, besides few of the 8 to 10, say about Indian smart cities as well. So we have, that's about it, and we have our stall out here. So in case anybody has any interest, they can connect to us for any particular requirement to know about our solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. I think the telecom industry has been automating and doing smart infrastructure for a long time. So, yeah, good job. Our next speaker is Mr. Anand Navani, Country Head of India and SAARC for Intellicene.
So we are not the only one waiting for lunch, there are other people also. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Anand Navani. I am the country head for Intellicene US. In the light of recent events which you are all aware, the focus has become more on the law and order and how we can strengthen it further. I think it is imperative not only on the decision makers, people who were there before me, but I think as a team, it is very, very important for us to create a strong deterrence towards any crime which may be taking place within the city or in any campus. During the course of the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you some of the best practices which Intellicene has adopted globally. But it is important for us to understand what are the challenges which we face. It's been almost 10 years. But have we reached a place where we are able to standardize? It's a difficult answer to get. I think the first challenge which we all face is diversity. It was discussed early in the morning. Every city or campus is unique. It is unique in its characteristics. It's leading to different systems which exist, but they don't talk to each other. We have so many examples in Indian cities also that there are 2 or 3 command and control centers for the same application. So imagine what? It's 2x the investment and probably 50% of the return. This is not efficient. And another thing which we always lack is the accountability. Now, what happens if we spend 100 crores, 200 crores, and the system is how it is after 2 years, 3 years? This is something which is, in spite of having the best technology, is very difficult to measure, very difficult to measure the performance of the. And I want to actually take a vote here that I think every system which we implement, the KPIs have to be clearly defined. And this is where Intellicene, we feel that every system needs to be measured in terms of performance, both by the citizens as well as the users. Because the user uses it 24/7 for critical actions. And it's high time we talk about measuring even the ROI of the deployment, which we do at such a large scale. But what if I tell you that we at Intellicene are able to connect all the dots for you to see the complete security picture? How do we do this? This is the current state of affairs in most of the places. There are multitude of data sources. Even a small campus, even a hotel like this would probably have the video, the intrusion, the access control, the database, fire, but they don't talk to each other. Intellicene provides an ISOC in which the entire risk visualization and the confident decision making which the operator is required to do is available because the systems get connected. And as a result, there's a coordinated response. You don't need multiple operators. You just need one operator and the SOPs. This is what we need. And Symphia Control is a platform which encompasses all this intelligent SOC solution, whether it is indoor, outdoor, analog, digital, old system, new system. We have the capability to integrate all of the third-party systems and bring it onto a common platform. What you see on the screen is a single interface which a customer gets, which has the alarm management capability, the incident management capability, the video management, the importance of maps in our city, which is so crucial, the dispatch and collaboration which happens on a different platform. It can be Intellicene, it can be third-party. And the investigation and search, again, from any vendor. It doesn't really matter. So our goal is actually to enable the security officers to tackle crime and events which are reported to them promptly. The GUI interface of the software is so user-friendly, it takes few days for the operator to get conversant with the system. Because actually they may be developed outside India, but they have been heavily customized for an Indian operator. We know the reality of Indian operator. Probably they are matric, they are not that IT friendly. So it is our responsibility to have a system which is actually much more collaborative with the operator, guiding him through every process. That's where the SOPs come into the picture. So whether it is interacting, putting up an audio, two-way, action taken upon alarms and incidents, the debriefing, the training, this is all part of the system. And not only the software actually combines the power of video images with business intelligence and artificial intelligence to create a common operating picture for the operator so that he knows what happened, where it happened, and what he needs to do. A single window like what you see on the screen is what the operator needs to take decisions on and ensure that not a single second is wasted when it comes to responding to any accident or a crime which has been committed. And there are so many incidents which we can relate that something got delayed although the digital evidence or a lot of information was available, but we couldn't act on time. So this is where the role of the standard operating procedure comes in, and we are given this power of designing the SOPs right into the hands of the user. But we don't want this technology to be only limited to command and control. That, okay, there's a one-way alarm and then you take an action. Our real safety would be and our sustainability would be if we take this to the masses. If we don't really confine to the data centers only. So every student, woman, or for that matter, any reporter should be having this technology to generate an alert and report it. There are so many apps, but sadly, many of them happen to be just one way. And this is something which I think we need to think collectively in this forum and take it to the end user and the decision makers. So the incident which I was initially referring on at the start of my presentation, we want that the mobile CAD framework enables working both ways for comprehensive incident management and the two-way connection which is between the field and the ISOC. And this can actually enable a person in distress to have an alert using an SOS button, and the time should not be more than 5-6 seconds. This is not new concept. It's actually in work since last 3-4 years. But sadly, the implementation is something which we need to put forward with the right authorities. The power of SIMFIA control and SIMFIA insight in this age of AI and ML, we don't want, look at the amount of data which gets collected from cameras, the passport data, the CCTNS data. We have an example, numerous examples in our city, whereby although the information is captured, it's lying there, but it's not used. I want to give you an example in one of the cities in Western India, where on a rainy day a few weeks ago, suddenly the system tells the operator that one Karnataka private car, number plate car, entered and exited the city 18 times in 6 hours. This was captured by, of course, the cameras, this was captured by the digital footprints and all of that. But when the police realized, they informed the relevant authorities and possibly a kidnapping was averted. So that is the powerful way in which we are able to standardize the data, connect the data, and get a real insight to it. But it looks good, very good on PowerPoint, right? When it comes to implementing, and the real test of the technology is when it is deployed in harsh environments like in India. So I want to present an actual case study deployed by Intellicene in one of the most complex environment which exists. The building I know, which you are all familiar, is perhaps the largest office building on planet, which is Surat Diamond Bourse. Now, the challenge of this huge campus is the amount of employees and visitors which used to frequent this place and or which are envisaged almost 7 days a week. And another challenge was, of course, because of the nature of the complex, there are a huge amount of expensive diamonds in the locker room, which presented a very challenging scenario for us. Now, what we had to integrate? We had to integrate to a common operator an X-ray machine, a building management system, forensic, access control system, boom barriers, visitor management, and a lot of other databases to be managed and operated out of a single screen, which I showed you earlier. The project was, of course, awarded to us in 2022 and executed within a few months by 2023, mid of 2023. If I just want to summarize, currently this unified ISOC is capable of giving actionable intelligence from 8,000 cameras and devices, 400 access control gates, which will handle 60,000 visitors and employees every day, 40,000 of them in 1 hour between 9 and 10 and 5 and 6 p.m. 90 data center operators will work from 50 workstations to get an immediate alert from 1,000 analytics cameras, enabled cameras, 500 fire alarm panels, and even if one is activated, will generate an alert within seconds. On our control platform, each operator can initiate almost like 90 unique standard operating procedures in their own way, in their own fashion, in their own language, what is suitable to them. So this is the powerful, if implemented well. This is the benchmark which we feel can be implemented at other places. And I would like to play a small marketing video to end the presentation. The audio? Thank you very much. We are just across the room for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anand. Our last speaker today for this session is Mr. Avi Dahia. He's the founder and CEO of Twyn, which is a digital twin company. They're doing fantastic work in this space. So welcome, Avi.
So I guess it's me standing between everybody and the lunch. And I think as a testament, they're saying if this guy can control himself, then the rest of the people can as well. Well, thank you for the slot. I represent Twyn, and we are an NVIDIA-backed company backed by their flagship program in Silicon Valley. Our global headquarters are in India. We are present in 5 cities here. We are present in multiple cities in Middle East and Europe. We are also going forward with our US presence in the next month. This is what the product is. So imagine, your smart city. So much data is coming from different cameras. So much data is coming from so many IoT sensors. Have we ever thought, how are we going to visualize, represent this data, and analyze this data? That's where we work in. It's a 3-dimensional replica of a city. So all your critical infrastructure, whether it might be bridges or oil and gas facilities in terms of industrial cities, your transportation, mobility, everything comes in a 3-dimensional replica in front of you. It is commonly referred to as a digital twin. We do phygital twins. I would like to highlight the problem a little bit more. So taking a small example of industrial city and a small infrastructure inside the industrial city. This is an oil rig. And this is one of the latest systems on how the oil rig is managed. You can see that on top there are different kind of systems like fuel systems, valve controls. You can see different layers on your left. You can see a lot of systems on your right also. So if I need to see what's happening in my accommodation air intake port over here, and I need to connect it to utility port, I sometimes need to cycle through as many as 5,000 screens to do that. Do you think it's humanly possible to do all the analytics and constantly monitor these many screens? So this is what this leads to is the problem of dark data. In smart cities also, we can have a look at these dashboards. Now, how many of you can quickly drive an insight from the dashboard that you're seeing on the screen? I mean, 99% of people, 0.1% people with highly analytical mind might be able to do that. But majority of us, it is very difficult to read these dashboards and drive insights. And that's where a lot of reactive management happens. And this is how the problem looks scaled down. You would see control and command centers wherein there are 500 people looking at screens. Now, humans cannot look at screens for 8 hours, 10 hours straight without blinking. So, you know, whenever a problem happens, that's when we react as to what caused the problem, and then we do the root cause analysis of it. So this is what we are here to change. So going back to the example of the oil rig, this is a much better way of representing the same data. You can see the tank levels going up and down. This is how we are used to seeing them in the real life, and this is how we can see them here. You have an assistant on bottom right, which is an AI-powered assistant. This is more like a Copilot version of yours, which is constantly going through all of this data and analyzing it. So rather than just analyzing your emails and drafting essays and all for you, AI can do much more. Here it is able to find the root cause of why the tank levels are going down with the historical data and current. So the immediate cause might be there might be some problem in the valve, but the deep root cause is that there is heating being generated in the radiators. So without even breakdown happening, we can prevent breakdowns from happening and operational inefficiencies. Now going to some examples of how this can be useful in smart cities and some projects that we have done. So this is a bridge management system. It's a real-time replica of a bridge. It's a live project. Of course, it's a screen recording right now, but it's a live project otherwise. And you can see whatever is happening in real time in terms of a physics-enabled environment, like how the wind is reacting to the bridge, how the traffic is affecting the structural strength and integrity of it. In a country where there are more than 1 lakh bridges and 38,000 bridges out of them are critical, this becomes, it's also a reputation thing. While India is executing a lot of projects outside, our Indian infrastructure needs to be monitored in a better manner as well for that representation to happen. Your grids, your smart grid management in terms of solar, in terms of grid monitoring, prediction, distribution, EV charging stations that we are putting, how do we monitor all of that infrastructure in place? If you read any of the BCG McKinsey report right now, in last 2 years, as a species, we have collected more data than we have ever in our existence. How do we deal with this more data? So we need a better visualization and analytics. That's what we're stressing at. One of the key projects that we have also done is Bharat Mandapam, where G20 happened. And this is what I am at liberty of showcasing to you right now. But we have a stand outside. You're more than welcome to please try out and see what we have done in this flagship property as well. So we can extend the concept even to undersea cables and pipelines. So your tower monitoring, cellular tower monitoring that can happen, or in undersea cables and pipelines where you need to send divers for inspection. So all of those assets which are not accessible otherwise can also be monitored with the same technology. And telepresence, our favorite. So if a government delegate needs to visit a certain place and they are not able to getting clearance to do so, for example, let's say ONGC facility, they can take a walk in it virtually without being there. It can also impact decision making. So your robotics company can be from Germany, your infrastructure can be in Bangalore, your designer can be from South Africa. Everybody can gather in one single place and do decision making. So rather than taking 1 month to fix a problem up, you can preemptively fix it up virtually before that happens with the local maintenance teams as well. These are some of the customers that we are serving right now. One of the flagship projects that we are executing is with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi. The project is bigger than the scale of Riyadh in terms of the city, and it's breaking 4 world records. We would be happy to discuss those projects further. In this conference, what we are looking forward to is partners who can help us with the distribution of this technology. And if you think that this can add value, please would be happy to join the hands together. If there are any questions, maybe there are 3 minutes. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Avi. I will hand over the mic to the MC and end the session.
Thank you so much, Chairperson of the session. I must say, an extremely insightful and very informative session. A huge round of applause for all our speakers, our distinguished speakers. Thank you so much for sharing your information with us. just to make it a little more memorable, just to acknowledge their presence and a thank you from our end, we'd like to present a memento. Thank you so much, Chairperson of the session. Thank you so much, speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now requesting the Chairperson of the session, Dr. Sumit Chaudhary, to kindly present the mementos. I would like to present, we'll go in the sequence of the presentations were made. So, presenting a memento to Mr. Parikshit Tiwari. Maybe we can bring in a bit of energy by putting our hands together. It just keeps the momentum of the conference on. Thank you so much. Presenting a memento to Mr. Ravi Kumar. Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar, for your wonderful presentation. Our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Amanpreet Singh. Thank you, Mr. Singh. Presenting a memento to Mr. Anand Bhaskar. We move from the right to the left and to the left to the right. We now thank Dr. Chinmay Hegre. Thank you so much, Mr. Hegre, for sharing those information with us. Presenting a memento to Dr. Chinmay Hegre. Thank you once again. May I now request Mr. Bikas Jha to kindly come forward. Quickly capturing into our lenses and of course in our memories. A quick capture as we thank Dr. Chinmay Hegre. Now presenting a memento to Mr. Bikas Jha. Thank you, Mr. Jha, for your wonderful presentation, sir. May I now invite Mr. Gurinder Singh. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for your presentation. Presenting a memento to Mr. Amit Mehta. Thank you, Mr. Mehta. We also acknowledge and a big thank you to Mr. Anand Navani. Thank you, Mr. Navani, for your wonderful presentation, quite informative and very insightful. And last but not the least, Mr. Avidheya. Thank you so much, Mr. Dheya, for your wonderful presentation. And may I now invite Mr. Shashidharan to kindly join us onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we thank the chairperson of the session, Dr. Sumit T. Chaudhary, for his wonderful participation. Thank you so much, chairperson of the session, for wonderfully conducting and concluding this session. Thank you so much. With that, we conclude this session. And may I request all our speakers to kindly step forward for a group photograph.
So we'll have a quick break, not more than 45 minutes, so that, we have another 2 sessions to take on. And ladies and gentlemen, I must appreciate the chairman of the session. Give him another big round of applause. Managing 10 speakers is not that easy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shashidharan. Ladies and gentlemen, as just mentioned, we'll take a 45 minutes networking lunch break, but do come back in time for our next technical session. A quick and a beautiful moment, a happy note, is about our lucky draw, which is being organized by NEC, which will be announced post-lunch. For that, we all need to visit the exhibition which is outside. Do visit all the stalls, all the booths. All our participants have been wonderful.